Hi folks, G3 here, and welcome to another instalment of my journey to go green. In today's episode, I'm covering a couple of food-related stories that I thought you might find interesting. First up, it's news that supermarket food in the UK could soon have its own eco-labels. Now this is thanks to some research from Oxford University. Their study was titled Estimating the Environmental Impact of 57,000 Food Products. So let's take a look at this article that was covered in EcoWatch. They're saying, what if when you went grocery shopping, the food and drink labels at the supermarket not only had nutritional information, but also details about the environmental impact of those products? This could soon be a reality in the UK as the first transparent and reproducible method of determining the environmental impact of food and drink products with multiple ingredients has been developed by a team of researchers from University of Oxford. So this is the key thing here. They're looking at the environmental impact of different ingredients within a product, so that rather than trying to assess a particular aspect of the product, they're looking at all the individual ingredients so they can give an overall eco-impact for that product. Now this study covered the majority of food and drink products for sale in supermarkets in Ireland and the UK. And they're saying it could aid consumers as well as policymakers and retailers in making educated choices regarding the impacts when purchasing food and drink products from a local supermarket. The lead author of the study, Dr. Michael Clark, was quoted as saying, "By estimating the environmental impact of food and drink products in a standardised way, we have taken a significant first step towards providing information that could enable informed decision making. We still need to find how to most effectively communicate this information in order to shift behaviour towards more sustainable outcomes. But assessing the impact of products is an important step forward." The study found that the environmental impact of meat alternative products was 1/5 to 1/10 less impact than the corresponding meat products. According to a Food Standards Agency study, more than half of the UK consumers want to make more sustainable choices regarding the environmental impact of the food they eat, but there isn't enough information available for them to do so. The study's research team estimated the environmental impact of the food products based on the information available to the public. Now this included land use, greenhouse gas emissions, water stress, and the potential for bodies of water to develop unhealthy and destructive algal blooms. The research team then put together the scores in each of the 4 categories to come up with an estimated environmental impact score for every 100 grams of a product. Peter Scarborough, Professor of Population Health at University of Oxford, said, "This work is very exciting. For the first time, we have a transparent and comparable method for assessing the environmental footprint of a multi-ingredient processed foods. These type of foods make up the most of the supermarket shopping that we do, but until now there was no way of directly comparing their impact on the environment. This work could support tools that help consumers make more environmentally sustainable food purchasing decisions. More importantly, it could prompt retailers and food manufacturers to reduce the environmental impact of the food supply, thereby making it easier for all of us to have healthier, more sustainable diets." Now, as you would expect, the researchers found that the environmental impact of fruit and vegetables, along with products like flour, sugar, soups, bread, and many cereals, was low, while fish, cheese, and meat had higher environmental impact scores. Products made of dried beef, like jerky, frequently scored the highest. Using a method called Nutri-Score, it was found that nutrition and sustainability often went hand in hand. Certain exceptions included beverages with lots of sugar, which scored low on environmental impact and nutrition. Jenny McDermott, Professor of Sustainable Nutrition and Health at the Rower Institute, said, "An important aspect of the study was linking the environmental impacts of composite foods with the nutritional quality, showing some of the synergies and trade-offs between different parameters. Using this new method, manufacturers can reduce the environmental impact while ensuring high nutritional quality of products. Typically, only the manufacturer knows the quantity of each ingredient in a food or drink product, but the UK requires that the percentages for certain ingredients be listed, and ingredients are listed in the order of their amounts." Head of Food DB, Dr. Richie Harrington, was reported as saying, "The algorithms we developed can estimate the percentage contribution of each individual ingredient within a product and match those ingredients to existing environmental impact databases. Applying this methodology to generate impact scores for large number of products, we illustrated how this can be used to derive quantifiable insight on the sustainability of those products and their relationship to their nutritional quality. Peter Scarborough told BBC News he has hopes that the findings will result in eco-labelling of foods, but thinks that the food industry using the information to reduce its environmental impact would be the most beneficial result. BBC News reported him as saying, "It fills a huge gap. Manufacturers, caterers and retailers have targets for reaching net zero emissions, and they don't have the tools they need to get there. Now they have this data. And some of them are talking to us about things they can do to help people move towards more sustainable food purchasing. The data could help manufacturers adjust their formulations." Now they report that Cook, a frozen food company from Kent, have collaborated with the researchers, and they're interested in whether using eco-labels would aid consumers in adopting a diet that is more sustainable. Their head of sustainable food has told BBC News, "This tool could help us by ensuring that as we are developing new recipes, there is a delicious option for someone who is actively looking to reduce their environmental impact through what they eat." Well, there you go, folks. That's what ecowatch.com have reported. And it seems like a really good initiative that's been launched by the University of Oxford's research. We could soon be having eco-labels on food telling us about the impact of each of these particular ingredients that have been used in producing these multi-ingredient products. Seems good to me. Next up, it's that UK farmers are counting the cost as the heatwave is killing fruit and vegetable crops. Now this report has come from Guardian.com's environmental section. They're reporting that the UK heatwave has caused fruit and vegetables to be dying on the vines, and that if the heatwave continues there could be even more drastic consequences for the UK fruit and vegetable stocks. They quote Vernon Mascarenhas, who runs the fruit and vegetable wholesaler Nature's Choice at New Covent Garden Market. It's saying, "It's not just fruit, we've lost entire plantings of peas, entire sowings of broad beans. Things like baby spinach was lost, salad heads were lost, and they're facing a shortage of berries because the heat has simply cooked them. We were in the height of our berry season, and we didn't pick quite a lot of fruit during that week. There were major difficulties. The fruit is now coming back, but if there is more intense heat forecast, that could be a worry." It's quite a turnabout because he says, "When we had our flowering season, we didn't have any frosts, so we're really excited. We thought that we were going to have our best year ever, one of our top fruit seasons, but now we don't know because the heat has killed some of it off. If we're going to get another impact of hot weather, we could be in real trouble." Mascarenhas was also concerned that the apple and pear crop will be hampered as well. "I worry about the apples and pears in August if we have a further heat waves. We will still get the fruit, but it will be much smaller. It won't have the grown. It could be slightly more acidic because in the last growth spurt, that's where the sugars develop. But he did say there was a small upside. The sunny warm temperatures mean we can grow fruit which previously would not have grown to a commercially viable level in this country. I'll soon have my first apricots for sale, for example. We could be seeing smaller berries sooner in the supermarkets." The British Berry Growers Chairman, Nick Marston, said, "With increased and sustained heat, generally yields will be a bit lower as berries ripen faster and don't quite make the same size as if the berries were left to grow longer. Suppliers and supermarkets are not hit by these losses as they have already signed contracts with the growers, but farmers will be financially hit if they lose crops. Sugar beet and maize crops are also in danger from the recent dry spell, and farmers are also concerned about the viability of root vegetables." Tom Bradshaw, the Deputy President of the National Farmers Union, said, "The impacts of this prolonged spell of dry weather are hugely challenging for many farms across the country and causing concern for all farming sectors. The lack of rain means crops such as sugar beet and maize are showing signs of stress, while there are challenges for farmers needing to irrigate field veg and potatoes. To help, the Environment Agency has launched measures to support flexible abstraction, and this will generally give some farmers the ability to trade volumes of water with other farmers. The dry weather has also severely hampered grass growth, which could hit feed supplies for the winter, adding additional costs to livestock farming businesses at a time when costs are continuing to increase significantly. With the forecast predicting more dry weather in the coming weeks, we will continue to monitor for any impacts on UK food production." So there you go, folks. That's what the Guardian.com are reporting in their environmental news, that there are significant impacts to the UK farming industry from crops dying, some of them being smaller, the berry crops potentially being smaller and ripening slightly earlier, but there is an upside to some other crops being able to be grown because of the warmer weather. But it is quite concerning that we're able to potentially grow crops that couldn't have been considered to be grown years ago, but now that they are potentially viable, it's quite concerning. Well, there you go. I hope you found that useful. I picked up those couple of news items that I thought might be of interest to you. They certainly caught my attention, so I thought I'd share them with you. If you haven't done so already, why not subscribe to the channel and click the bell icon so you get notified when I load up a new video. Well, thanks for watching, folks. Until next time, bye.